Car crash.
Okay, guys. Hi, everyone. We are gonna start.
Hi, I'm Dilum,
Hi, I'm Sandra.
and we are the co-founders of the exhibition space Skylacht.
Yeah, and this is our podcast, Kyle Acht Car Crash.
Ох ты, ёб твою мать.
I'm really exciting to start this. I think this is gonna be very interesting contest, and I'm very exciting to talk with new artists. And now I think we are gonna start to talk about what we want to do with this podcast. And my colleague Dylan will explain more.
So I think it would be interesting. Like we started the exhibition space Skylacht, and we wanted to get to know our artists more and have a talk with them, which is not always easy because they're from all over the world. And so we decided to start a podcast to get to know them, but also artists from all over the world, new, interesting, exciting artists that we just want to get to know and want to give a voice. So here we go.
Yeah, I think also it's important to say that all the time artworks were more important than artists itself. So I think it will be interesting to getting know their stories, how they begin with being artists, why they want to be an artist, and uh, maybe they can talk about the meaning of the works they are making and how they are making their works. So I think it will be very interesting.
So it might also be interesting to get to know ourselves and how we
Yeah.
started out. So where are you from, and who are you, Sandra?
Okay, I'm gonna introduce myself. It's kind of a complicated story about me, but I will try to explain. So I'm from Lithuania. 8 years ago, I came to Belgium. Um, well, in Lithuania, I did nothing to do with art. I did a lot of sport, and I was really interested in feld hockey, and I thought every time that I will be a coach. But when I came to Belgium, I did 1 year Dutch school, Dutch school, and then I needed to choose a school. So I wanted to do something with sports, but one day I went to a woman who helps for people. They came to Belgium, like for children to choose right school, and she asked me one question. So she told me, maybe you have some talent. So I don't know why, but I told her that I can draw a sun, a beautiful sun. So they sent me to art school. It was really strange because I was not really interested in art, and I don't really felt myself like an artist. But I thought, if I came to Belgium, I leave everything in Lithuania. So I thought maybe I just gonna try this.
And
So
so they asked you like, what do you have any talents? And you did this all of these sports, and you were very talented in it, I suppose. And your first reaction was like, I can draw a beautiful sun.
yes, because I don't really thought that sport is a talent. I thought that this is just me, Sport is me, and this is not a talent. This is just movement that I did. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was keeper in felt hockey. So I thought, yeah, I'm a keeper. This is not talent, please. So okay, so I went to art school, in Genk. It's a small village in Belgium. And I started to learn draw. I started to learn painting and a lot of things in there. But there was like very classical way of learning art, you know, like how to draw a body, how to paint a face or something. So it was very classical and very figurative. And actually, the last year of graduating in that school, I felt like I have no freedom or something. So after this, I thought, okay, I would really like to know myself better. So I started to study in Lucas School of Arts in Brussels, and this is how I met Dilum. He wanted in the same school, and we start with fine arts. We did both. We did bachelor and master together. So in that school, I found myself, I think. Well, I don't know, or our artist can find himself, because it's never ending, you know.
Mhm.
By my meaning, I think it's never ending. I start to interested in lines and movement of lines. So I thought how I can tell my story and my world, like in one line. So one of very old works is behind me. So I start to work like this. I was interested only in painting. Now I'm working much bigger and with a lot of stuff like installations, sculptures, and so on. But in that time, I was busy only with painting. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Well, I think my world changed like 90 degrees, or no, not 90. I think
180 degrees.
no, 360. Yeah.
That's wait. I find that a funny phrase, because if you go 360 degrees,
Oh, you go back.
you
Okay.
go back. So
Yeah,
it's a
okay.
180.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we met at arts. Well, yeah, we met in our first year, but we didn't really get along in our first year. I arrived
Yeah.
at St. Lucas an entirely different way, I think.
Yeah, I think so. In Luca, you have too many freedom. Just I think there's too many of freedom, because they're telling you nothing. They came, they told when is a deadline, and it was like, okay, guys. So in before Christmas we have jury, and before summer we have another jury. Uh, let's do this. So go to work, and that's all. So what
Yeah,
they said.
that's why I started out at Lucas School of Arts.
Okay, maybe you introduce you. Maybe you can tell more about you, and then we will talk more about school and art and so on.
And how we got along. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I was always kind of a creative kid and a bit weird, and we always played out these fantasy stories in the neighborhood. And then my friends and I were quite interested in fashion and design, and then we, as kids, we started drawing like sketches for clothes and for design things, and we made advertisements for that, and we held fashion shows in the neighborhood. And then I wanted to go start fashion design at high school, well, at university. But my parents were like, that's not happening. First, you're going to do something serious, and then we can talk about fashion school. And then I kind of like was looking for something to do, and advertisement was really interesting to me. So I started communication management at university, and I got my bachelor degree in it. But then in my third year, I started drifting more away from like traditional advertisement. I was more interested in like a personal brand or something, and how to express myself. And then I decided to go to art school at St. Lucas, and then we started the same year in the first year. And I went to St. Lucas because I wanted to freedom, and I didn't want like these assignments and how to learn how to draw and paint and all of this stuff. I just wanted to have this like make this digital work about myself and express myself. And I kind of felt that the freedom was there at St. Lucas, so that's why I started there. Also for freedom, but then you say there was too much freedom.
Yeah, there was really too much freedom. I think so. Yeah.
Did you need more like guidance, or what did you want more from them?
Well, I think not really guidance. Just yeah, you got juries. Okay, they are talking about your work. They are giving you like some tips. You know, they are talking about how you become an artist, you know, and you have so many meanings because there are how many teachers we had? I think 8.
Well,
No,
in the studio we had each
4.
department had 2.
Oh yeah.
And we had 3 departments and sculpture, and then there was 1 teacher for sculpture, so there were 7 teachers.
Well, so you
Just
have
in the
7
studio, then we don't talk about like theoretic courses and stuff.
Yeah, so you have 7 teachers, 7 different worlds and 7 different meaning, and they're like pushing you in one way or another way, and you know, they're like telling you what to do, like they're giving tips, but if you listen to them, then they get you like, okay, so you are listening only to us. It's like, you know.
Yeah, they were very like, we're
like,
going to criticize you a lot, but then if you listen to the critique, they're like, why are you listening to critique?
Yeah, you need
because
to
I don't want to get yelled at during my jury, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
So,
like, you know, Cookie, one of our teachers, when he wasn't interested during the juries, he just sat down in a chair somewhere in a corner, and he was just not listening anymore.
He went to smoke at one time.
Oh my god, yeah!
Yeah, he went to smoke at our jury. So somebody was talking. I think you was talking. Yeah, I think Dilum was talking about his work and explaining everything. And one of the teachers just went to smoke. And then they are giving us points. Like, I was like, how can you give a point about my work or his work? Like, how you can... how you count the quality of somebody,
the work when you're not even listening.
Yeah, so this is very strange, you know. But so the how to say that, the freedom that we've got, actually at one side it was I think too much freedom, but at another way, now we are alone with Dilum, and every morning we so in first year one teacher said, you need to get up every morning and think that I want to be an artist, and you need to go to sleep with the same thought, you know.
Yeah, so, you have to wake up and like decide for yourself, you're an artist and I want to be an artist, because no one's paying you, no one's no one's interested, there's no one making you make art except yourself.
Yeah, so exactly. So I think now I really can see this in real life, because when I was studying, I don't really felt that, like,
we didn't experience it because it was a school. We're like, okay, we have to wake up and we have to go to class because we have a meeting, and the studio is there, and we might as well go there because we're getting graded at the end of it. It's not only about grades. Otherwise we would have stopped now too, but it was like we had a reason and we had projects to work to work towards, and we had deadlines to work towards, and
Yeah.
exhibitions we were hosting with the class. While now it's more like there's nothing or almost nothing in the future, especially now. Yeah, my projects got canceled for the time being, so yeah, that was strange. So during the first year you didn't really like me, did you?
Yeah, that's true. So when I saw you first, I thought, well, first of all, I think that I saw your how to say that in English? Oh my God, I forgot this.
Hyper gay?
No, not really, not really like hyper gay, but you were like very critical to everything, you know?
Really?
Yeah, you were really critical, like, oh my God, this is bullshit, and this is, oh my
Oh
God,
yeah, that sounds
you,
like
no way, no way. So first, I was, so like I said, I was 3 years in Belgium, and uh, my how to say, my meaning about homosexuality when I was in Lithuania, it was different, because you growing up with one meaning that homosexuality is like a sickness or something. Yeah. So
very
when I
true. Very true.
maybe
Look at me.
so I think when I saw you, I thought, I don't know. I don't think that I want to talk with him or something. He's so critical, and he's so just too much energy, But one time we got drunk at a school party
Yeah, in
at
our second
our
year,
studio.
during the
Yeah, in
Halloween
second
party, we
year.
got drunk and we started talking somehow, and then the next day
Yeah.
we were friends. Like, oh no, wait, this is
Wait a
cool. We
minute.
like each other.
Yeah, so I really changed my mind about homosexuality, and actually in that school I changed my mind about everything. I think everything, because I never thought about something like this, like all people is just people, It doesn't matter you are homosexual, or you are Russian, or you are Chinese, or you are,
Straight
what
Belgian people can be assholes too, so
yeah, that's true.
we've met a
So
couple of them.
yeah, so actually after that party we became just best friends, best two bitches that they're always yelling about things and about artist life. And that's because that's why we call our exhibition space KL8. In Dutch it means what it
Complaint.
means, how?
Complaint.
Yeah. So
we're doing nothing but complaining to each other.
yeah, we are like, oh my God, I did so many job, and I did so many paintings or drawings, and nobody want to see it, like this. So
So how did your work develop during Luca?
so first I was working on lines, and
You were painting figuratively at your middle school, not at university. So how did
yes.
you change all of a sudden?
Well, so maybe I will talk about my first work at Luca. So first I painted. Okay, so the theme was self-portrait. So I painted myself without face, and it was like repeating, like bigger, smaller, 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 like this. And I was behind the glass, and I was holding that glass. After this I showed that for like it was not jury, it was just like a communication
Yeah.
in discussion, So I showed that work, and I was talking about problems of problems of talking. So I was talking like, this is about people who can talk, and or don't know one of another language. And I did this, of course, because it was really hard for me to learn Dutch and also English. So it was really hard for me to communicate. So I wanted to show boundaries in communication. But then I got so many critique for first time. It was not normally. So everybody was like, you don't need to talking about your shit, you know. It was exactly what they said. So you don't need to explain your problems or something, because who you are to explain no who you are to be so important for people, because if you are making art, it needs to be interesting for everybody, not all only for you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I painted that painting 1 month or something, so it was like this, you know. And at certain point after that jury, I started to work with how to say draad. It's like
With wire, yeah, with string.
yes, with the wire. So I put it in paint, and I lay down this on the paper, and then I put another paper, and I get that
You
thing
made
out.
an imprint of the wire.
Yeah, in print. So after all, I thought, oh my god, this is how it feels, freedom. Like, this is more like, you know, at the moment, more like from intuitive.
Intuition.
Yeah. So I thought, this is, I think that kind of working is better for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, really not only work with my hand like this, yeah, but with whole of my body, like to work on the ground, not only on the wall or
Mm-hmm.
something. So after all, I started to make more paintings like this, and I started to forget the brush. That was a very important thing for the whole process of artistic process of my career, I think. If I have career, okay. I don't think that I have a career. I have one, but okay. So I started to work with lines, and after all, I thought, actually, I'm getting into one soup, you know, like it's the same and the same, and I repeat and I repeat, and it's not interesting anymore. So I thought, I'm gonna just sit and look into my paintings, and maybe I'm gonna see something new that I never saw before. So I started to see a lot of forms in between the lines, you know. So I've got interested in forms and like natural beauty of forms. And after all, after many years, I started to work with maps, and like I started to watch land art, and I've got interested in forms and layers and transparency. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a better.
transparency.
Yeah,
They like to
this.
layer multiple layers on top of each other, so they
Yeah,
interact and they do things with each other.
yeah. So that was really interesting for me. I started to make layers, and so I started to make my own map of my own world. So I started to look at Google Maps or other maps that I ever saw, like very old maps from very very long ago, like Nadar. I think it was a photographer who first.
I am.
Huh?
Yeah, Nadar, who made like the
Yeah,
pictures from the planes.
So Nadar made first photos from balloon, sky balloon or something. Yeah. So I just watched the whole composition and the photos that he made, and I thought, so he make one photo and he repeat it and put it to each other, and it's really interesting to see that how the forms of a city became into just into forms, you know. So I think the meaning of the forms, like when we are looking into the map and we are seeing like line who is going like organic, we are thinking, okay, this is a river or something. So all the forms and things have the meaning. So what I'm doing, I try to get the meaning away, and I keep only forms out, and I'm like building it up in a new world without a meaning or something. So this is what I do.
So
Yeah, maybe you can talk about your work. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, when I started out at St. Lucas, or Luca, I was really into this digital work that was a lot about expressing myself and my mental voices and different parts of my personality. But then, like, they were a bit slower with saying it to me, but it was like, why is this interesting to somebody else? It's like about yourself. No one cares. What does it do for me? And then in the second year, the departments were all put together. So in my first year, or in our first year, all the departments were different classes. So we had sculpture, graphic department, painting department, and project studio. And then because of budget cuts, we were all brought in together and we were in one space. And then I saw everybody painting, and I thought like, oh, I want to give painting a try. And then for a class, we had to go see the work of Kadar Brok, and an artist from Brooklyn. And it was this amazing abstract work that works with material and stripping down paint and the canvas, and it makes these really interesting abstract compositions. And that's how I got really interested in painting and trying to work abstract and figure out what material does and how you can work with material. And yeah, that's what I developed during my bachelor, I think. And then at the end of the third year of the bachelor, I started mixing the idea of materiality with mythology and the meanings behind mythology. And that's how I closed off the bachelor. And then in the master, I developed that further. Yeah, when I started out at St. Lucas, I was doing this work that was very focused on my personality and my inner world. And I made this work about like my inner voices and different aspects of my personality. And then I also got the comment a bit later about like, this is all about you. Why is it interesting to somebody else?
So that was really important in Luca, not to start like only with you or something.
Yeah. And then in the first year, our department, we had different departments. So we had painting and sculpture and graphic, the graphic department, and project studio, which was my department. But then in the second year, because of budget cuts, everybody got put together in one department. And I saw everybody, remember that?
Yeah, so it was awful. Oh my God. Yeah. We had no space.
But I thought it was really nice because we interacted more with each other. And instead of having four different groups, you had one big group of the same year, and even different years were mixed together, which I thought was really interesting. And then I saw everybody painting, and I had thought like, oh, painting, that might be interesting to maybe combine. And I made sculptures and paintings, and I started trying all these different things. And then we had to go see the work of Kadar Brok for a class,
Yeah.
which is like this Brooklyn-based artist. And I thought it was just really interesting work. And yeah, he works with materiality and stripping down paint from the canvas. And it was just really interesting to see. And so that's how I started working with like materiality and painting and how these things work together, like with Gerhard Richter or Kalum Ines, all great artists, I think. And that's how I developed my bachelor. And then by the end, I started mixing mythology and like how that says a lot about our personality and emotions with the materiality of painting. And that's how I finished the bachelor. And then in the master, I developed that further, and it started to be more about like how we create meaning and how images and words and expressions on a canvas and in general convey a certain message to the audience, but is interpreted. And so that interpretation is very subjective. So everything I show and everything I symbolize gets interpreted by the audience. And it's interesting how that all changes in interpretation and how we interpret things and how we make connections between different images and words and sentences and marks. And that's what I'm doing.
Cool. Okay. So I think that our experience at school and after school even in our own studio, I think that we change like really much. I think if you go back and you see what we were doing in first year, I think this is crazy how we change, you know.
So would you say that like that the school was a positive experience or like mediocre or negative?
I don't know. I don't, you know, I really appreciate the other lessons that we got.
Except the studio thing.
Except the studio part. Yeah, because you know, if I really need to be honest, yeah, I think I was paying for the school just to have a studio. Mm-hmm. If I really, if I need to be honest, because we never, like in art school that I did in Genk, yeah, so they were busy with me every minute. So they were there, like they came and watch my work like this, you know, and like, you need to fix that, you need to do that. Like there I was learning, but in Luca I was doing what I want, you know. Okay, the juries and all the comments, it helped me, of course, for my further work and so on. But I think I really appreciate the other lessons, like art history. It's just, yeah, I think it's amazing.
I think that there was just different things that we were taught, like how to be critical and for ourselves and for others, and to listen to critique and to learn how to deal with critique and to think about our work and why we are doing it and how we're doing it. I don't think it's always the best way to learn us how to do it. And sometimes they were, I felt that they were sometimes very like negligent or something, or they didn't really care. They were just like, okay, think critical and here is our remarks. But like, that's kind of where it stayed. And once you figure out like, oh, I have to be critical and I have to watch every step. And I think that I got there by the end of the bachelor. And then the bachelor was kind of for me like, okay, I'm just being critical for myself. And if I don't like your critique, that's my right. And I'm just not going to really listen to it because I have other ideas about it. And then I don't know, the master really for me was like, I want this degree, and I might get something out of it, but I don't really think I really got anything out of it. Also, like how I felt, like how they treated me as a person, and compared to others, I think I was, or even us both were kind of like put in a corner, and we were with like the less popular group or something.
Yeah, that's true, you know. So I think the loudest was the most popular.
Back at it, I don't know if it was just like the loud people or however you want to call them, but like they were like we were 24, 25, and there were people there that were 30 and 35 and were
Yeah,
much
that's
more
also
mature.
true.
Like I think if I would do my master's right now, I might get something more out of it and more, I don't know, recognition or support from teachers, because I'm further along and I know now better what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the year I did by myself, like the year after we graduated, I think I learned more and about myself and about my work and what I wanted out of it than I did during the master, because I don't know, I felt this blockade during the master of like both the teachers and myself, and being part of the not popular group and being kind of excluded and not supported. I think I needed to get away from that environment and learn more by myself, and
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I've been
true.
doing since then, which I think I made some great advancements. But at the same time, like the opportunities that came along with being part of the popular group and being supported by the teachers are gone now, so I can't get them back, and I feel kind of left
Alone.
alone and left to my own devices and left behind,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad. But yeah, I'm just like lately I've been like under the philosophy of like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Make an exhibition space and no one's interested, fake it till you make it. You make bad work, fake it till you make it. You have no exhibitions, fake it till you make it. You have no connections, fake it till you make it. You make a podcast and it might not be all that great, just fake it till you make it. That's my motto right now.
I like that thought. The last one, I like this. Okay, so yeah, I think behind. Okay, but behind that negative things about Luca, there are also positive things. You know, behind the negativity of teaching art in Luca, I think I'm really glad that I met those people, that I met those teachers, because
Yeah,
if
they
we were
definitely taught us something.
yeah, because if we were talking about just life, or just not about my work, just art in outside or something, you know, not in the class. So um, I've got the most good things for me from that discussions. I think not from the juries, or not from classes or something. I think the best conversations was outside, when the relationship between teacher and the student was gone. So
Yeah.
when we were just talking like two people with each other, then I've got the best tips for myself,
Mhm.
and it was really interesting. So I think yeah, it's not so bad, Luca. You know, sometimes I'm really miss that school, and I would
I don't.
really
I
I
don't
really
really
want
miss.
to I really want to say big thank you for our art history teacher, Marie Pascal Hildemijn. She was just, I think that she made the most, like the strongest
She left the
uh,
strongest
good,
impression on you.
yeah, expression on me. Yeah, I think she's just a perfect example for me how to learn something, just like you
Yeah,
sit.
she's dedicated.
Yeah, whoa. So but the most important thing she learned me is to look. I think this is the
How
best
to
thing.
look at art and how to, yeah.
Yeah, how to see art and how to look at art.
Yeah, I think
So
that's true.
yeah, I think that she's really good at in. So I've got that from her. So I really appreciate that.
And then
Yeah.
we graduated and we found a studio together.
Yay!
And
It was really exciting.
you were afraid in the beginning.
Yeah, I was afraid, but I was afraid because of money. I'm really
And because
I
of me, again, you didn't trust me.
no.
You were like,
Oh,
you
that
were
you leave
sure I
me.
was going
Yeah,
to abandon you, and
yeah.
you
That's
were
true.
like, he's never going to find a studio for us both, and he's just gonna
Yeah.
leave me behind. And I was like, stop
I
worrying.
was really afraid. Yeah, so this is also true. So I think for every artist it's a bit bad to be alone, I think. So because you every time you need to get a feedback, I
Hmm.
think,
Yeah, that's important.
yeah, that's really important because you never see everything in your own work before you talk with somebody. If you talk with somebody, you start to see new things in your
Yeah,
own
that's
work.
true.
Yeah, so
That's
I
what we
think,
did also a lot together at school and now at the studio too. Like, just we always ask each other, what do you think about this? How do you think this is going? Uh, and then we give each other feedback, because you can try to look at it from another perspective, but you always stay the same person with the same experiences. So someone else is going to have a lot more to say about it than you can yourself.
yeah. Oh, I think we forgot very important story about us. So
If
one
it
year
involves
ago,
alcohol, we have to skip this. We're going to cut it out.
no, we will not talk about alcoholic things because it's just you
Yeah,
don't need to know this.
problematic.
Yeah, dramatic things. So I think, no, I really want to tell the story about our uh, teacher careers. So one year ago I became a teacher of art history,
Oh my God.
and how it calls in English, actually, the just art, or
Art history.
no, like
Yeah, plastic education
plastic, yeah, plastic
kind
education.
of
Yeah,
thing.
I don't like that word. Okay, so
Arts and crafts.
yeah, something like this. So I started to teach people, and I also
Because
made
you're also doing your teacher degree right now.
yeah, that's also true. So I start to become a art teacher. I would really like to give lessons for painting, or maybe just fine arts, but I can't find a place to do it. So I really hope I will find it in the future. But so the story is that I began to do this, and the uh, my students were like not really interested in art, and it was so hard to learn them art history. And I was study very much for every lesson, so to not to make any faults, because if you make a mistake in your lesson, you are just biggest
You're
fool
dead.
ever. You're dead. They gonna kill you, like by a second they gonna kill you. Um so after all, after half year, I think, I decided to stop with this, because I started to give fine arts lessons in one of school, but it was just stage. It was
Internship.
like, yeah, internship. Yeah. So I don't really wanted to give lessons in my school. Why is that? Because I really saw that I want to deal with my knowledge. I want to give some knowledge and take it back from my students, and
Mhm.
I really didn't get that from my school where I was giving art history. So after all, I started to think about quit that job, and I asked it at Dilum to do that job in my place. So now he is a teacher because of me. So he is not degrading as a teacher, and he has no diploma or something, but
I'm
I
just
think he's
teaching
really
motherfuckers.
I think he's just the best teacher ever, because we heard from my students that like he was asking, and so what you thinking about me or something. So they thought that they think that Dilum is very very
Strict.
straight, very
No,
straight.
strict. I'm not
Oh,
straight. I'm
strict.
strict.
Oh, strict. Okay. Yeah. So I thought, okay. So this is. I think that this is the best thing for them, because I was really soft. I know that.
I don't
I
know.
need to. Yeah, I was soft.
Maybe it was also just not your thing. Like you're more interested in art than art history.
Yeah, that's also
And
true.
I have the background in it because I did the same. Well, she taught, or Sandra taught the tourism department, and I was at the same school, and I studied in the tourism department. So
Yeah.
I kind of know how to deal with them and what to teach them, which is easy. I think it's easier for me because I've already done it once.
Yeah. Well, so I'm really
Kind of.
glad.
Well, I like doing it. It's a bit stupid because after 2 weeks the quarantine started, so now I can't really teach them just from a distance through online courses. I don't really like it, but hey, we have to deal with it, and we'll see how it continues because I really want to stand in front of a class again.
All right. Okay. Maybe let's go back to our exhibition.
Yeah, so
space.
we got a studio together, and we share a studio, which is great. And you always wanted to do an exhibition there.
Yeah.
But I was like, we can't just do an exhibition about the two of us. It's kind of like self-supplying or something. It's like no one cares that it's just about the two of us. It's self-promotion. So
Oh my God. Now I really don't care about that. But at that time it was like, yeah, okay, it's self-promotion.
I still do. I think it's important to.
No, I don't care anymore. I just want to show my work.
Over it. No, because I thought it would be a great idea to like not only include ourselves, but our friends and other artists that we met. And then in the summer of 2019, we did an exhibition in the studio and in the adjoining garage between stage with a couple of our friends and a couple of artists that we had met during or after graduating. And I still think it was a great show. It was a great concept and it was great artists. And I was really happy with what we did. And we got quite a few people showing up. Even teachers that we liked showed up. Teachers that we didn't like didn't show up, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we will not talk about that.
Yeah, no. And then how did we end up starting? Yeah, because we experienced of like that we didn't really make connections in the art world, and that it was kind of rough for us to find our way and to meet people. So we thought like, what if we just start an exhibition space in the garage which we can use and just host open calls and look up artists online and ask them if they want to be part of our show. And then that way people come to us instead of us having to go to them. And I don't know, for me personally, it's like I'm a bit socially awkward and it's hard for me to walk up to people to start talking about their exhibition, about their work or about my work. It's kind of, it always seems to me like it's like for yourself that you're doing it, not for somebody else. It's like, oh, I want to introduce myself to get further, while this is more of like a mutual relationship where it's we invite people and we give them a platform to show work and to get their name out there and to show work to new people. And at the same time, it's an advantage for us because at the same time we meet new people and we connect to more people and more people come to us, and it's more mutual than just showing up to an exhibition and trying to promote yourself.
Yeah, that's true. So I think the most important thing in our Kyle 8 exhibition space is just to give a chance, maybe because we see how hard is it to get a chance to go somewhere to show your work or something. So I think it's a really good thing to give a chance. Also, for myself, it's really interesting to be a curator. It's really interesting process. Of course, we are like we are working together, but also by our own, because Dilum is really good in languages, so he texts everything and he
I'm good
writes.
in English. I'm good at English. French and other languages, that's a whole other
Oh,
story.
but you also know French, so it's better for me because I'm bad at it, and so Dylan writes all the so he do all the communication, and I'm more responsible for. Uh, uh, how to say that, like to do a poster, to bring him and hang it on in the city or something like that.
Yeah,
So
you're more practical. Like you like
practical.
to like the paint the walls and hang the posters and
Yeah.
make connections and make sure we have insurance and all those kind of things. And
Yep.
I'm more like
And I
concepts
think,
and behind my computer and stuff like that.
yeah, and I'm more I don't have the problem that Dilum has with talking with people and just coming out and say, hi, I'm Sandra, and this is me, and like introduce myself. I have no problem with this.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're
the
the
one.
voice, I'm the brain.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, we are working at this, and we are very excited. We were very exciting to our first exhibition, but actually, because of this situation now of the virus, we needed to
Postpone it.
cancel it. Yeah.
No,
So
not cancel it, postpone it. It's still going to happen.
it's still going to
We're
happen, right?
just waiting for everything to calm down, for everyone to be healthy again, for everything to be safe again. And then we'll fix a new date with the artists, and we'll make sure, because a lot of work is still at the studio.
Yeah.
It's sitting there unopened in there. There's actually one of the works is sitting right here in my bedroom, waiting to be, well, I opened it already, but it's still packed up, and we're just waiting to start again and to show the work, and we're really excited about it. And in the meantime, while we're stuck at home, we're going to have a few talks with a few artists from the exhibition and host them on our podcast. And we're just going to make it work and fake it till you make it, and it's all going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Our car crash is going to be just fine.
Just fine, and just we will also enjoy it to talk about art. And I think the most important thing of all the podcasts, all the exhibitions and thing, just to spread the culture and art.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we finished.
Yeah, I think so.
I get my best ideas while I go on bike rides, and I had thought of like 2 questions we can ask each artist at the end of the interview, but there's one problem. I already forgot them and I didn't write them down.
Oh, but that's no problem. I will talk. I will think with you together to
I'm going on a bike ride after this, and I'm going to find them again. And it's going to be
No, that's no problem. You find them, and of course, I also write down some questions that I really want to give it to the artist. So I think it's gonna be interesting.
Okay, so in the coming weeks, we'll be inviting artists from the exhibition to get on our podcast and talk about their work and their involvement in the exhibition. And then after a while, we'll open it up to everybody who wants to talk to us, every artist that's interested, and we'll just be very glad to spread their message and spread their work around everybody that we can get in touch with.
Yeah, and let's make also maybe some friends or something because we are sitting
Yeah,
in
we're
now.
bad at making friends. I'm bad at making friends. You're better. We're going to make friends. With
Yeah,
our
of
car
course.
crash, we're going to make friends.
We will make a car crash together with everybody.
Yeah, that's great. We have to get a bigger car.
I'm gonna make it I'm gonna make a plane.
Oh God, that now we're getting off topic. We're cutting this short here.
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
okay. All
I
right.
hope you guys are all having an amazing day and see you soon or hear you soon. Listen to us soon. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
bye.
Bye.